So I've been writing a few blog posts last month about doing XML RPC calls to WordPress in order to do theme switching. You may have seen that it requires actually building a plugin to extend some of WordPress's capabilities with XML RPC. Well, in this part of it I'm going to demonstrate the client, which took me about a month to build a simple client to communicate with WordPress, and I hope this is something that may be helpful to you. I know it's not Android market ready, but I hope that maybe it might inspire others to do some of these things with WordPress. There's certainly a lot of extensibility to it. Anyway, hope you enjoy this demonstration. This application uses another library called the XML RPC Android library. I will include a link for that, and here's where all the files are stored. It's actually fairly easy to include within the project. But yeah, I'll include that link on YouTube and on my blog site. So most of the code for this application is just included on one page on it's actually just the client.java page, and this class pretty much handles the entire view that's showing, when you load the Android application. You can see I've included some strings that I'll be using throughout this entire application just for my own purposes. It's just hard-coded stuff that eventually you wouldn't want if you were going to include on the Android App Store, but something I was just using for testing. Has my test server and of course admin and password and all these values. If you edit these values, it should also allow you to log in and access your version of WordPress if you have the XML RPC plugin installed. So here's the view method right here, where most of what's actually created and what's actually seen in the application, and it makes calls out to a few separate methods that, for one thing, display information, check to see what the current theme is that's selected. Actually, right here is the get active theme. So this is actually checks to see what theme is selected, and as you can see, it does a client call, and this is doing an XML RPC call to the theme.getActiveTheme method that was created in that WordPress plugin. So it will make a call out to that method, and it will return the current active theme. As you can see, it's included the username and password, and that's passed through these values. The check button method, this is used just to hide or display a little checkbox next to each button, so it will show what is the current theme that has been selected. The switch theme method, and this does the major lifting. It actually switches the theme. It calls the themes.switchTheme method from that WordPress plugin we created, and it will switch the theme over. And then here's the getThemes method, and this will actually make a call to WordPress, and it will see what are the current themes that are on your WordPress site, and then so that they can be listed in the view. And if you look at the view itself, this is where the buttons are created and where most of the activity happens. And you can see it cycles through, and it uses the getThemes method. It makes a call to the URL with the username and password, and it creates buttons based on the theme name itself. You can also see here it actually uses the getActiveTheme method to see what the name is of the active theme, and then compares. So if, you know, if the button is equal to the active theme, then it displays a checkbox next to it. Otherwise, it doesn't. And also included within here is the set on click listener. So for each button, a listener is added just to see if the button has been clicked, and it will make a call out, and you can see that it also does a check button, and it will, put the checkbox next to that particular button, and then it will also call the switch theme method, and it will then switch the theme over. So, I mean, that's really the meat of the whole thing. So, here's my phone, and I went and I installed the package using the Android SDK ADB installer directly to my phone. So I compiled the code and installed it, the package itself. So it's WordPress theme changer. And it should come up. It'll connect to my website and get the current list of themes that are on there. Right now I have the Daily Invention theme selected, and I'm going to select 2011. As you can see, the checkbox has moved over to 2011. Let's take a look at the website, and I'll do a refresh. Okay, as you can see, it switches the theme over. Now let's pull this up again and go to 2012 and do another refresh, displaying the 2012 theme. Now I want to return it back to the original Daily Invention theme that I had selected before. So do a refresh. And there you have it, a WordPress theme changing app. I see a few applications for this. Say I don't know, if you wanted to have a Christmas theme to your website, you could easily switch between your current theme and the Christmas theme, switch it there and back. There's probably other things you could do with it. I've made the code available out on GitHub for you to look at and try yourself. So you're free to fork it and see what other things can come from it. But anyway, I appreciate any input on this, and happy hacking!